YouTube, what's going on? It's Juan Gotti here with another video. And in today's video, we have some Redskins news. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. But before we do, make sure you guys go down below, leave a like on this video, subscribe if you're new, and turn on post notifications so you get notified when I upload a video about the Redskins or the NFL. Let's get straight into today's video. So today's video is going to be about two topics. One is Brandon Scherff signing his franchise tender. And the second topic will be, should we draft Chase Young or should we draft Isaiah Simmons? Because it's been reports that the Redskins are heavily interested in trading for, or not trading, but drafting Isaiah Simmons at number 2. So without further ado, let's get straight into today's video, man. So let's go. So I know I'm late on this topic where the Redskins have Brandon Scherff has signed his franchise tender that came out like a couple days ago, but I didn't think it was too big of a deal to make a video. But then yesterday I was like, man, I'm a Redskins reporter, and that's what I want to do when I get older. So I have to report every little thing, even if it's a big trade cut or signing too, when a player signs a franchise tender. So without further ado, let me explain. So Brandon Scherff, as you know, signed his franchise tender worth up to $15 million, which requires, if you don't know what a franchise tender is, that he must report to training camp, and he must show up to mini camp, OTAs, and all that, etc. He signed it. So, and if he doesn't come, he'll be getting wealthy fines, matter of fact. So not no little fines. He'll be getting some fines, and but it's not by the team. That the team doesn't have no say in it, so where later down the line they can say, man, we don't want to find you anymore, we want to take it back. Now it's the NFL, and then you can't refund it. So if you don't show up, then that's on you, man. You're just gonna be dealing with them fines, and them fines, I guarantee you, are not cheap, considering the fact that you're in a pro sports league and you make a ton of money. So what does this mean for the Washington Redskins and Brandon Scherff? They signed his franchise tender. So what this means, in my opinion, is that Brandon Scherff, he clearly wants to be here. He wants to be here. He's already came out and said that he wants to be here. But I mean, this shows even more proof. This isn't a Trent Williams situation, because I guarantee you Trent Williams would not have signed a franchise tender because he doesn't want to be here, even if he had that option. So what this means is that Brandon Scherff wants to be here. He's working hard, and him with the Redskins to get a long-term deal done. And even if that doesn't happen, he still wants to play here, and he's going to sign a franchise tender. So I see this situation getting played out good. He's making $15 million a year, so he's the highest paid guard in the NFL, right over top of Brandon Brooks, I believe, for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's the highest paid guard in that league now. 15 a year, man, that is crazy. So well, not 15 a year, but his tender is $15 million a year. He's getting paid, I want to say, what, $20 million a year? So that's crazy, man. He's getting really good paid really good for only 1 year. So Brandon Scherff, man, this is just telling us that he wants to be here, really, because if he didn't, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have signed that deal, considering the fact that the new CBA deal requires him to show up to training camp, and he will get fined if he doesn't. So this shows you that he wants to be here. He will do everything in his power to get a long-term deal done with the Redskins, and he will show up to training camp and show out, show Ron Rivera, because considering the fact that we have a new coaching staff, no one on this team has a roster spot, that's guaranteed. So he even has to fight for a starting spot. So this should be interesting to watch, man. I really have to go to training camp this year. I really do, not only to meet up with my other Redskins creators, but just to see the new regime and the new how everything's going to be ran. So a fun fact right quick before we get to the next topic is my friend a couple years back, it was the Jets and Redskins joint practice and training camp, and he went. So the little scuffle that happened, the fight that broke out, he said that when that happened, the Jets coach Todd Bowles made the Jets players that were involved run for, I'm not going to say the rest of the practice, but he said run for the majority of the practice because of what they did. And what good old Jay Gruden did? He said he didn't do anything. So that just shows you how lack of discipline that Jay Gruden was, and how he didn't really, discipline the players, and that showed on the field. How lackadaisical the practices were, and how goofy they were in practice. They weren't really serious. So that should change, man. And Todd Bowles is really a disciplined coach. Other than Jack Del Rio, he was one of the heavy favorites to become the DC. But that's off topic. That was just a fun fact. Let's get into the next topic. So, should the Redskins trade get Chase Young, or get Isaiah Simmons? So that's the big deal. considering the fact that we're not going to take Tua. A report came out and said we're not taking Tua. That trade back option has been very, up in the air, and we really don't know what's going to happen. So it's not a lock for Chase Young like how we thought it was going to be, considering the fact that they also are considering the fact to trade back, but they are considering taking Isaiah Simmons at number 2. So who would I rather prefer to have, and who I would rather want the Redskins to get, and who would be the best fit? It's a no-brainer. It's obviously Chase Young. It's a no-brainer. Why? I'm not saying that. Not only saying this just because he's the best player in the draft, better than Joe Burrow, better than anybody in the draft. Tua Tagovailoa, best player in the draft class. Not only am I saying that, I think that he will have an immediate impact on his team. I think he will. I think Isaiah Simmons, on the other hand, whatever team he goes to, he's going to have an impact, but it's going to take a couple, I'm not going to say years, but a couple, months or maybe even a season to, blossom to his ceiling and to his high point. On the other hand, on Chase Young, I think that he will be coming in and become dominant right off the bat, you know what I mean? And I think that a DN could make a bigger impact than a hybrid layer linebacker that can play safety also. And that's the reason why I say this, is because when you have a great front seven, you don't need great corners. That hence why we have Aaron Ronald, Darby Fabian Monroe, Kendall Fuller, Greg Stroman. We don't need, if we want to keep on to them guys, we don't need a heavy cornerback team that's really good. Look at the before they got Quentin Dunbar, look at the Seahawks. They have a dominant front seven last year, and who was their cornerback? Shaquille Griffin and Trey Flowers. They don't have a dominant cornerback on that team, but they had a dominant front seven. So what is more important, a front seven or a hybrid linebacker? No, I think that Isaiah Simmons will be, in fact, I believe and know that he will be a great person for whatever team he goes to, probably the Giants or the Lions. I think he will be a great fit for whatever team he goes to, but I think it just will take a longer time for him to get used to the NFL speed, and he will have to take maybe a season or two to reach his potential and ceiling. So, with that being said, I think the Washington Redskins should draft Chase Young. And if you're not going to draft Chase Young, then trade back and get Isaiah Simmons. I think if you get Isaiah Simmons at number 2, you're reaching just a little bit, and I think that's too high of a move and a risk. So, with that being said, if the Redskins want Isaiah Simmons and they really believe that Isaiah Simmons is the guy over Chase Young, trade back so we can get more trade value, and then we can get him at probably 5, 6, or 7, somewhere around there, other than trading or other than getting him at 2 and then having the whole NFL look at us, laughing at us and making us look stupid like we usually are, making ourselves a fool out of. So with that being said, it's been your boy One Guy. Like, comment, subscribe, help to the Redskins. And always, let me know what you guys think down below about this video. Like, comment, subscribe, help to the Redskins. Do you want to trade back? Do you want Isaiah Simmons or Chase Young? Let me know your thoughts about Brandon Scherff and him signing his franchise tender. What does this mean? I gave you my thoughts, and now the floor is yours. So like, comment, subscribe, help to the Redskins. See you guys in the next video. Peace. Stay safe and keep practicing social distancing. Bye.